welcome in Little Brown Jug Time. Tomorrow we're ready to talk about it with you. Michigan and Minnesota could be inclement weather, rain tomorrow at the Big House. Former Wolverine Jerry Diorio is in the house and ready to talk some Michigan football on this Friday, the 27th. Jerry, how are you?
I'm doing great, Danny. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. Was at the tailgate last week for a great win over USC. Love hearing that band walk right by the alumni tent and singing. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It was great. Great day last Saturday.
Yeah, it was a great win, that's for sure. Michigan, you could say a surprising win, but a shocking win when they were, backed up in the manner that they did it. But whatever, they ended up getting that victory. I don't know. Was it shocking? Was it a miracle win to you?
No, it wasn't. No, Denny. I believe we talked about this last week that we said that Michigan was going to have to only give up 17 to 20 points, and I think that you can say with the interception for a TD. Michigan only gave up 17 points because 7 of the points are a wash, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I thought Michigan would have to score 21 to 24 points. And they did that. They did what they needed to do.
All right. Well, as you know, and everybody else knows, we have the trophy going after it, the Little Brown Jug. Well, discuss what we're looking for from Michigan tomorrow and the chances that we might see that. Jerry has some film that he has drawn up, and we'll look at it. He's got some X's and O's and arrows with that USC game, things that happened last week that maybe can help Michigan moving forward, maybe some concerns, whatever the film, we've got that. But first, the story with a Wolverine grad, Dave Portnoy from Barstool, who yesterday, Jerry, said that he's ready to pay up $3 million in NIL money to get a Michigan quarterback. And I think people are familiar with the story, familiar with Dave and what he's got going on. And what's your reaction when you see Barstool wanting to jump in, specifically Portnoy, the big Michigan fan,
Michigan alumni. Michigan alumni.
Right.
Yeah, Denny, hey, listen, that's great news. It just doesn't help us right now. That's not what we need right now. Great timing for next year. Let's get out ahead of it. Dave Portnoy is a Michigan alum. That rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but he won my favor last year when he was one of the few journalists that stayed with Michigan all the way and really made a fortune betting on Michigan last year.
Well, the one thing that I don't think there's anything to do with journalism when it comes to Portnoy. So I would not put him in any categories of journalist. You could say that he's involved in the media. He has a podcast.
Okay, how about from the media, Denny? I'll say
he's a super fan. He's always gonna pick Michigan, and he's always gonna back Michigan, and that's all right. I mean, there's nothing journalistic about Dave Portnoy. He's made a lot of money in the media, and there are journalists involved that kind of together there. I think that you mentioned, he rubs some people the wrong way. There's boosters and bagmen, and to me he's a rich dude that wants to give money to Michigan to see him succeed on the football field. I think there's a way that everybody can be happy about this. It's not negative unless you take a step back and you say, oh, this is just where college football is at, and it's bad. It's bad that we have somebody that can have influence with a lot of money, and he can just buy a quarterback. And what is he going to want? He's a bag man. Things that people have railed about. But this is if you I don't know, you pull back the layers a little bit. This is stuff that has been going on for a long time, and certainly in the NIL era. Having money and getting it to the top players, this it's something that whether Michigan is being drawn into it, kicking and screaming, or whether, however their plan is going. I mean, the money part is a big part of recruiting now, and he has a lot and he wants to give it up.
Hey, listen, I want to address something that Dave Van Reenen said, and I can definitely understand where he's coming from. He's saying it's an insult to Alex Orji. And I'm going to talk a little bit more later on, Alex, of what I feel. I think Alex Orji is a dynamic quarterback, really, honestly. I think we need to open him up more run game with some jet motions. We want to get the ball to the wide receivers. Yeah, we can get into that on jet motion. We don't have to throw the ball to open up our offense. We can run jet motions, quarterback powers, quarterback zones, halfback zones, lead. We can do a lot more than we're doing right now with Alex Orji at quarterback. That said, what I think Portnoy's money is going to do is going to be for the future quarterback of Michigan. Somebody said that he should have nothing to say with it. Well, when you got that kind of money, you're going to have something to say with it. It's reality. But Portnoy, his heart, let's put it this way. His intentions and heart is in the right place, that he loves Michigan and wants Michigan to succeed. How's that, Denny?
Yeah, I'm not sure, his intentions. I do think that he wants to see Michigan succeed. I think many, you think about the Michigan football image and everybody has their idea, but I think if you took a vast majority or whatever, the majority of Michigan fans, and we could all have them here, and you say, hey, what is Michigan's football image? And you'd say what it's all about. I think most people would come back and say the same thing. It's about the team. That's what it's about. And I think Dave is about himself and about winning. And you can say, what's wrong with that? And I'd say, I don't know. It's just a little bit different of what you would think like the Michigan image is. Like, boosters, you think of, you'd like, hey, philanthropical, and it's about the team. And Dave's like, hey, it can make me money. It can help me out with the team that I'm doing. So it's a little bit different, as far as him having.
Benny, I think Rich Rod and Brady Hoke would differ with you as far as it's not about winning. It's definitely about winning. And we want to get the best players possible at this university, which is the best university in the country. So why shouldn't we have the best players?
Yeah, I hear you. I think the one part, and it was some of the quotes that was taken from his podcast, and Dave says that, it was insulting to Alex Orji because he said, we're not going to get orgied anymore. We're not going to have this kind of situation with this kind of quarterback, that was an insult.
And, I didn't hear that. Orgy. And I didn't hear that. And a lot of people say a lot of stupid things out there. So I like Alex Orji. I think he's a dynamic quarterback. I think there's a lot we can do with him. And to be honest with you, if we start opening up that playbook for him a little bit more, defenses are going to have a lot harder time defending us than passing teams. I always, Denny, as a defensive coordinator, I hated seeing two tights, a flanker, and a balanced backfield. Now I had to play 8 gaps as a defensive coordinator. That's not fun. You got to be sound. You got to be disciplined. And you got to have everybody in the right gaps. And we're going to see 3 plays where USC just did not have everybody in the right gaps.
Yeah, and we look forward to that film coming up. I think the part about Michigan fans and a Michigan alum calling out a current player, if this would have been 5 years ago, you'd say, hey, these kids still are student athletes. These guys are, and they still are student athletes. But the thing now is that they do get paid. So it is more like these guys are professionals. And now that there's so many podcasts and there's so many fans that have podcasts and people can say anything they want, the part about you can be and you see it in the comments from folks, like, the vast majority of folks, they would have a similar type approach to Alex Orji as Portnoy, where it would be insulting if you really said, hey, give me your true. And now I understand that people are like, hey, let's back this guy. You don't have to, this is our quarterback. Let's get behind him. Let's not call him names. That's basically what he was doing. But so, but that again gets back to, he's calling it like the way he sees it. And if you don't like people bad mouthing that are supposed Michigan fans, bad mouthing their own players. I understand that. I totally get that. But here it is. Let's just go through some of these comments, and then we'll get to what we want to see.
Absolutely.
Richard says they shouldn't have any say, just hand over the cash. I think that's mostly, I agree with that. But when you have a lot of money, you get things, that comes along with it. I know somebody that's a very active booster, and I've always asked him about, so, why are you doing this? And he loves Michigan and everything else. And he says, he likes to have certain privileges of like being down on the sideline or meeting the coaches. So yeah, even this guy he's a great guy and he just loves Michigan. And this might, Dave's got his dog, Miss Peaches. This might be a situation where, Dave wants to put a hot tub up in a suite and he might want to have Miss Peaches down on the sideline. Is that a big deal? Now, I don't think when he was talking about he's going after a 5-star quarterback or a top 10 quarterback, the ranking in the transfer portal. If Dave wants to go after the number 1 quarterback and give him the money, he can do that. But there is going to be some kind of collaboration. So, and this is the sticky part when you have a third party, somebody's going to tell him, look, this is the quarterback we want, Dave. So this is the guy that's the top 5 guy in the portal. It's not necessarily and if he's like, but I want this guy, I think they can have that discussion, but that's not going to be, I know that's weird for a lot of people. You see it out there. You've seen it with the UNLV. You're like, wait a second, this guy's being promised money. He's not supposed to be being promised money by the coaching staff, but that's where we're at right now. You can be, and it's a third party. So that's going to be, I think he can say, he could call Sharon Moore, and he was bragging a little bit. Hey, I got Sharon Moore's money or Sharon Moore's cell phone, but he could say, look, Sharon, these are the top 3 guys in the transfer portal. Which guy should I be going after? And, maybe Sharon will say, hey, I'm not going to be texting anything over to you on your phone, Dave. Let's have a meeting in person.
Here's what I have to say. Now where I'm going to really part with Portnoy is if you got $3 million to throw around, it's a proven fact that in the last 5 years, it's been offense and defensive linemen that win the day. And so to me, putting $3 million in a quarterback who could get hurt, who you're going to do everything in your power to protect, it's kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket, just like Caleb Williams last year and the year before. Threw all that money at him, and he had no line. He had no defense, and that hurts you. That's where you get beat. I like I said, I think his intentions and his heart is in the right place. He wants Michigan football to be the best, but at the same time, you've got to objectively look at where that money should be spent and how well it should be spent, and what you want to build your team around. That would be my biggest objection to Dave Portnoy and his $3 million.
Well, that 30 seconds of what you had to say right there, we could spend hours talking about that notion on how to build a football team and the positions that you're going after. I'm not saying that, Dave Portnoy's being cavalier saying, hey, it's just a quarterback, but he knows that the quarterback is the most important position. And there's this constant battle, and it's with Michigan, because I think there's a lot of Michigan fans that say, we just want Michigan football players. The profile is they want to play for Michigan. They want to be part of a team. They want to win a championship. And, oh, yeah, if they along the way are able to benefit with their name, image, and likeness in a structured concept, that's great. We don't want kids that are coming in saying, I want this amount of money. They can go somewhere else. And I think that I get that part. And then there's the other people that say, look, this is the name of the game. Just throw the money at them. Of course, these guys deserve the money. They're getting the money, and you better get up with the times. I think both of those sides have points. I think Michigan wanting if there's a top player there and the top player says, yeah, I want to come to Michigan, and I also want to get paid. To me, that's okay. And there's a lot of people that would say, yeah, but I don't want somebody that just wants money. And he's saying, well, no, he wants to be a football player, Jerry. He wants to play for Michigan. He wants to play for the team. but he's also earned a 5-star status, and he wants $3 million. To me, that's okay. And then for some people, that's not okay. I don't know where the middle ground is. There's somewhere in there, and that's not going over all your, let's go to the offensive line, let's go to the defensive line, but it's with the quarterback, and it's just the notion about the money that there's a lot of Michigan fans that are like, I don't want kids that are just looking for the bag. They say that all the time, and to me, I get that part, but everybody wants to get paid. There's nothing wrong. But, trying to filter out whether a kid is just there and is like, I'm just trying to get paid, I don't really care about any of this other stuff, or a kid that's like, yes, I'm going to benefit by, getting upfront money. And I also want to be a team player. I mean, I think all of those things can be true, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Here, like Denny, I think we have to start looking at college football and building a program kind of like the NFL and how you build a program there. God, his name is slipping me. The quarterback at Carolina,
Drake May
from Alabama.
Oh, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Okay.
Bryce. Okay, so here we are picking him the first pick 2 years ago. No line, no real offensive run game, no real weapons out wide, and a year and 3 games, and he's sitting the bench watching. And his confidence is hurting, and he's got a ways to come back now. And you're seeing kind of the same thing with Caleb Williams. He's not being able to connect with his players. He's getting rushed. There is no ground game. I got Swift in my fantasy, and he's done nothing on the ground. Okay, no. So I know we got no line in Chicago, no pass blocking. So you're taking a risk losing Caleb Williams and his talents forever if he doesn't see some success here soon and starts doing some things, or if he's getting hit. When you start getting hit as a quarterback, what do you become? You become shell-shocked. You start looking at the rush instead of downfield where your eyes should be. So, in my opinion, I want to build everything around the quarterback, get the best we can get, and go from there. Remember, JJ was not a top recruit coming out of high school.
Well, I guess it depends how you look at that. I mean, if
he was not the top 2 quarterbacks we got in the college football.
Okay, all right. That's fine. It looks like we can sit around talking about this all day. I'll make a last point because I see people making a lot of points, and this has triggered something for me, and I'll let you then have the last word on it. There are several really good quarterbacks that Michigan already has committed. So Portnoy going next year, Michigan has Jaden Davis, and I don't know what, Jaden Davis, the kind of deals that he has. I know he has something with a dealership. I know he has a clothing line, but if Portnoy next year comes in and wants to put his $3 million on some kid in the transfer portal, Jaden Davis could be like, I want $3 million or I'm leaving. And then there could be the Brady Hart or the Carter Smith who's already committed. And they're going to say, we want our $3 million up front too. I think this is part of Michigan's strategy from 3 years ago, where everybody was like, start paying these guys. You got to pay them. And they were like, we're going to take care of the guys that we have. And then they're going to, they're going to look at it in a fluid situation, trying to figure out, how they're going to pay them. But this could be a can of worms, Jerry, where you're like, okay, yeah, $3 million, Dave, but now we got to cough up 3 for Jaden Davis. We got to cough up 3 for Brady Hart. Carter Smith saying,
all your eggs in one basket.
What are you guys thinking of me? So there's $9 million all of a sudden that, Dave's talking about 3. What about 9 that you got to get just to get him in? I mean, that's there you go. I mean, that's it. And then, there's going to be other players that say, where about mine?
Hey, I like the formula we've had. I don't think we've got enough cash in the cash flow, though. That's my thing. I think as Michigan, we should have more money than anybody else in the country. We got the biggest alumni out there, the most prosperous alumni out there, probably, I would say. I think we should be right up there with the money spent every year on our players.
What do you think of this, Jerry? I said, unless you just want to move on, it's up to you.
No, I'm good, Genny. Go ahead.
Because you're cut from a different cloth, saying, look, they're still young adults, they're students. Cut from a different cloth said, He's a Michigan alum. We should not talk bad about the young adults that are fellow Wolverines, giving their best. He says they read, they watch these shows, build them up. Do you feel like, so you are, not only are you an alumnus, but you played football as well. Do you feel a responsibility that you should be filtering comments out because you don't want to say anything negative, because there could be a guy saying, hey, this is a Michigan show,
No, not one bit, Denny. Sometimes that negative stuff inspires people. A lot of times, okay? When you tell me I can't do something right away, I'm thinking of how I can do it. And so, no filtering, no censorship, no bullshit. Let our kids see what they got. Our kids are good enough to play. They're going to accept these as challenges. They're not going to go run and hide and say, oh, boo-hoo for me. No, they're going to go and accept these challenges and prove people wrong.
Yeah, I think being honest is the way to go. If I'm sitting over here talking about Alex Orji in a way that I don't really believe, as soon as I turn off the camera and I'm telling my wife, like, oh, this guy can't throw the ball, and I'm on here saying, oh, I think he can throw. I mean, what are we doing here? So because I want to, build him up.
That's called spin, Denny.
What's that?
I think that's called spin.
Well, that's it. I mean, there's a lot of that's going on,
and I kind of did it with Portnoy, so go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, call it, this thing, I don't know. People really want them to, everybody's got an agenda. Let's go there. Everybody's agenda. I want people to watch this show, and I want them to enjoy it. It's more, the entertainment style. Some people are looking for injury news or, inside information. We have that at the Mason Blue Review. It's there. I know people thirst for that, but I'm more for that entertainment style and giving my opinion, bringing on people like you, Jerry, who have, played this game and know Michigan football, coach football for decades.
I want to comment on something Adam Shepardson has said. I doubt Sharon is letting any outsider make choices about personnel. That couldn't be more well-spoken. If we got a coach who's going to sit there and let his outside people tell him how to win ball games, we don't have a coach. Jim Harbaugh is out there in San Francisco, and he drafts John Alt, and the fan base goes crazy, and they say, we want a speedster, we want a playmaker. And what's Harbaugh's response? Offensive linemen are playmakers just as well as anybody on the field. And he's absolutely right.
Well, you know what? I was watching the Thursday night football game last night, and Al Michaels, is the Giants got down to like the 2-yard line. They were playing in New Jersey there, the home field for the Giants. And Al Michaels said, yeah, of course the fans want the Giants to go for it here. And he said, you figured out a long time ago, if you start listening to the fans, before long, you'll become one of them. You'll be sitting in the stands watching it. But yeah, I know
that's not to say there's not some comments that I've heard from fans that I sat back and thought about, but at the end of the day, I'm making the decision because I'm the one responsible, and I'm going to make the decision on who's playing where.
Yeah, I do think you're going to get to that situation though, where if you got a guy, Portnoy's here, he's aggressive, he likes to leave everything out in the open and use it on his podcast. And, he's saying, man, there's this 5-star quarterback I really want. When he talks to Sharon could be like, yeah, but that's all he's talking about is the money. We like his skill set. I don't know. So how that goes into, he's like, he really doesn't fit our profile because he's talking, $5 million, Dave might be like, let's go 5, I don't know. So it is interesting. He's not going to make the pick. He's got to have some kind of collaboration when you have the money. And that's the part I think, that he is good. If he really does want to, I really like this guy. Well, the coaches say, hey, this is what our board looks like, Dave. We've got these 3 guys. And remember, what Rivals ranks as their top 10 guys in the transfer portal are the top 10 recruits. We know is not the same as the other services. And what Michigan's board looks like is not going to be the same as all of those. So, it could be a guy that could be, they think is at 15 in the portal rankings, and nobody's thinking of that. And, you could go to Portnoy and say, hey, this is the guy that's number one on our board. So, those are some of the things that you go into as well. So, but those are all good points. You want to make a last one, Jerry?
No, I'm going to go back to it one more time. I think $3 million or $5 million, I think there's a heck of a lot better ways to spend it than on just one quarterback. So I want a great offensive line. I want a great defensive line. I want cornerbacks that can cover like blankets. That's where I want my money spent. We'll let the rest take care of itself.
I do want to see Miss Peaches down on the sideline, so I got no problem with that. All right, Jerry, here it is. The battle of the little brown jug. If we shift gears and look towards tomorrow's game, it's supposed to rain in the morning, and we know kickoff is at noon, so it could be some rain at game time. So I don't know. What do you want to see from Michigan's offense?
I want to see right off the top, I want to see our offense expand the running game for Alex Orji. I just think there's so many things that we're not doing to help him be successful that I would like to see done moving forward. We have connection to the Baltimore Ravens. Did we go out and talk to them and do our homework on how they get Lamar Jackson in open space and how they're helping Lamar Jackson? Because, why did Baltimore lose the game against Kansas City last year? It wasn't because they didn't throw the ball. In fact, it was just the opposite. It was because they didn't run the ball more. They threw the ball too much. That's what they did. And for us to sit there and say, well, we got to open this up and we got to open our offense up and throw the ball more. What are we going to throw the ball more? Are we going to want more interceptions? More incompletions? No. More second and longs and third and longs? No. I want to see our run game expand sideline to sideline and north to south. Okay. I think we've got very capable playmakers at wide receiver that we can get the ball on jet sweep, on jet reads, and those types of things. Get the ball in their hands like that. Maybe a run pass option that we should have implemented. But there's ways that we can really open this run game up for Alex Orji that I see, and I'm hoping that we're going to see that moving forward.
I'm going to tell you what I want to see, but I'm going to ask you a question because you're going to know more about this than I will. I think Michigan tried to put Alex Orji in the best situation that they could last week with some of his quick throws, and we saw what he brought to the table in terms of throwing the ball. We did see in that second series in the second half against Texas where he did take that deep shot and overshot Frederick Moore a little bit. Here's my question, Jerry. Can Michigan scheme up for Alex Orji while he's in the pocket to be able to throw the ball down the field? Can they just have and maybe it is for the deep shot, scheme it up, a max protect and say, yeah, we are going to let him air this out. We want him to be able to make plays in the pocket and push the ball down the field. Of course, if he connects, that's going to be huge for his confidence. Everybody is going to feel it as well. So can they do? I mean, it sounds like they should be able to scheme things up for him to be able to throw the ball down the field from the pocket. Will they want to do that early? Do they want to wait if they don't feel like that's his strength? I don't feel like it's his strength. I don't think anybody thinks it's a strength. So should they do it? Can they do it? Will they do it? When would they do it?
So I don't know. Listen, we want Alex Orji to throw to wide open people. That's what we want. Ultimately, we want to complete passes, and we want Alex Orji to throw to people that are open. Okay. That's how he's going to complete passes. Well, how are you going to do that? The run game is the best friend to a quarterback because as long as you're able to run the ball and pound the rock, those safeties and those linebackers are coming up. They're coming. That's when you can hit them for big ones down the field later on. But the fact of the matter is we've got to stretch the field. We've got to make them key more than one play or two plays, okay? We got to make them key more than inside zone or off tackle power. There's way too much that we can do with this guy and really have a dynamic offense, one that is not seen or not known by most people in college football because everybody else is throwing the ball over the place and doing their thing. Well, now we're coming in with a unique system that they've got to respond to that they're not used to. And then you're putting them in a position that they don't want to be in.
Good answer. I like it. And as far as on the defensive side, for me, it's going to be pretty easy, Jerry. I'd like the defense to look like it did in the first half last week against USC. If they do that for a complete game against Minnesota, of course, I don't think the Gophers will get it to the end zone. But Michigan, they looked like last year's defense, so they looked like something special in the first half. They were flying around, put pressure on the quarterback. That's it. I'd like to see them look like the first half last week against USC, tomorrow against the Gophers for the entire game. That's what I want to see from the Michigan defense.
Well, Denny, from last week, we talked about that we saw some familiarity from Michigan's defense and offense last week. That we saw them line up with 2 down linemen, 4 up front, playing a lot more zone. I saw that Saturday, especially in the first half. The play that really disappointed me, and Page should have had the sack. There's no question about it. He came free. He should have had the sack, but those things happen. You miss tackles. Now what do you got? You got one-on-one crossing patterns, and I think we all know where we saw that before in Michigan football. Wide open crossing patterns that gain 40 yards, flat passes. We can't let that happen. When I saw Will Johnson's interception, I think it's one of the few defensive plays I put on there. When I saw Will Johnson's interception, when you look at it, it's almost like the Palms coverage we had last year, and I think he did it on his own. I think he read it, saw it, and jumped it. But that looked like Palms cover. It wasn't. I know it wasn't, but it looked like Palms coverage, and Will Johnson came off his man and jumped the route. And like I said, there was a lot of familiarity from last week. I saw a lot of it in the first half. Please don't go back to that blitz. And Wink, and to his credit, he is listening to this stuff that he's blitzing too much, and he's taking offense to it. And he's saying, "No, I'm not. I'm not blitzing any more than they did last year." The stats don't say that, but I do see him playing a little bit more zone and a little bit more 4-man base fronts.
Hey, Wink, we're glad you're watching and listening to what a football mind like Jerry Diorio has.
Well, so there's a lot of people out there, Denny, that have been questioning him and talking about his blitz-happy system. And it's out there. Everybody, you can see it on the field. You don't have, when you put 5 and 6 guys up on the line of scrimmage, you might as well blitz them because it's hard to get back out and cover patterns.
All right. Hey, with that, Jerry, unless you have something else that you want to go over, I'm ready to for you to walk us through some plays.
Let's go get it, Denny. This was a great game. Really, offensive line showed massive improvement. Even from Texas to Arkansas State, that was a great jump. And then from Arkansas State to USC, did an outstanding job. Up front, we did an outstanding job. We're seeing players getting better every play.
Great. All right, well, let's large this screen up and let's do it.
All right. There we go, Danny. We got it?
No, I want to thank Quick Cuck, though. We see what you look at to be able to get this go. No, we want the screen to be totally large. Let's see. You might have to X out of it to go back to
I might have to, Danny. Keep advertising. There we go, Danny. Nope. Keep advertising, Danny.
Well, for that, it's not really an advertisement, Jerry. It's the truth. We want people to join us on the Maize and Blue Review. And to do that, you go to michigan.rivals.com, and everything that you could want there in terms of Michigan football coverage, it's there, it's accurate, and that's what we want for you to join us there. And, oh, yeah, a little bit of big-time basketball news that's breaking over there today. So with that, go check that out. Maize and Blue Review, michigan.rivals.com. There it is, Jerry.
All right, Danny, here we go. Folks, get used to this. Get used to this. I can see us going a lot more on 4th down, 4th and 1, 4th and 2 if we're closer to the 50. But you're going to see this. You're going to see us going for 4th downs now. We're going to see how we can utilize an offsides to get us a free 5 yards. So those are things that we're going to have to do as a Michigan football team. but this is a good sign. This is us keeping drives alive, expanding the season. Okay, Orgy just gets under center. It's just a quick quarterback sneak. Right here we see Guidance, El Hadid, and Preeb. I mean, Preeb played his butt off. We're going to take a look at Preeb and what he did this week. He played his butt off. That was a great transfer portal pickup. That was a phenomenal pickup right there. But watch the movement we get here. And now you're going to see Mullins come up, push Orgy. But these guys, now they have to play not only Orgy, they got to play Mullins. Coming out the side, you're going to see you're going to see people tackling Mullins when he doesn't even have the ball. But there's Orgy, gets a great push. They're even trying to submarine, and Preeb gets the movement. I also want to show you this, Denny. Watch number 13. This is what caused the fumble with Edwards late in the game. Watch him try to punch that ball out. You see it?
Yeah, I saw
They're
him.
taught that. They're taught that. That same technique was used on Edwards later on in the game. But I'm glad he did this. I'm glad I can point this out. They're taught this. That coach is a heck of a coach. That offensive coach or that defensive coordinator, they picked up a really good one. I think he's going to be good for USC. This guy right here is tackling Mullins while Mullins is trying to push Orgy forward. So that's what I'm talking about. Those 2 back sets, 3 back sets, these guys are going to be looking at other backs besides the one who's got the ball. And we're going to see that later on. Okay, let's move forward here. Here we are. 3rd and 8. This should have been called, and this is what I'm talking about. We're going to have to utilize hard counts, get these defenses to move, pick up those cheap 5 yards. We've got to do this. This is the oldest penalty in the game. This is the first penalty football came up with, was offsides. There is no clear more offsides than you can be right here on this play. But I like our team being disciplined, not jumping and making them jump. We should have had a 3rd and 3 instead of a 4th and whatever it is here. Keep your eyes downfield, Alex. That's the one thing I would like to say to you. Keep your eyes downfield. Let's see if we can pick up one of these receivers that a defender is coming off of. But this kid is athletic. I mean, he made some great plays all game long. He's an athletic quarterback, and I like him. I just think, here's another thing, Denny. When I was getting into coaching, I'm going to go back to this play a little bit. When I was getting into coaching, I asked Bo, I said, I wanted to tell Bo that I'm going into for head coaching interviews, and if there was anything he could give me to help me promote myself. And his first question was, well, what offense are you going to run? And I had my scripted answer, Denny. I knew exactly what I was going to do. We're going to run the Maryland Eye. We're going to run power football. And I thought he would be glowing. His next words were to me, is that what your talent gives you? Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Are we giving our team the best system for our talent? That's the point. Right now, yeah, we have inside zone. Yeah, we have power. We got RG outside a couple times on zones, but we can add so much more to it. We need to get him a package, and we need to give this team a package to get the defense to commit honestly. But I like Alex Orji. I got no problem with him as a quarterback right now. I think we can win with him, and I think we can win big with him. All right, here's Tommy.
Jerry, can I jump in and ask you? You would think that, and it's something for everyone to remember. Like we always talk about an opener for a team. This was Alex Orji's opener, and it was against USC. This was not some easy team that he was with his an opener. You always say, "Oh, not bad for openers. We should expect him to get better." Moving forward. I don't know how much better, but also how much were they able to dedicate when they were running a Davis Warren offense and they were running an Orji offense, even into the first week of the season. They didn't make a decision on that. So they couldn't have been just committing and playing to Orji's talents because they were up in the air and they were practicing half Warren and half Orji. And then it was, I don't know what it was, 70, 80% Warren. It wasn't until last week that they were going, 90% Alex Orji when they named him starter. Now I would imagine that, he's gonna get better, that he's gonna have a full game under his belt, and also that offense will get better as well. And the coaches, because they can put so much more into it, knowing that he's the quarterback and catering it to his strengths.
Denny, remember we talked about this all summer long and coming out of spring. In my opinion, Michigan needed 2 playbooks, one for Orji and one for the other quarterbacks. Orji is in the mix. He's the possibility that he could be the quarterback. You better have a playbook for him then. And I don't understand if we didn't go out and get that playbook. You got to play to your talent. That's what you got to play to. That's what Bo taught me, and that's what I took with me from there on. You got to play within the talent. Why try to throw the ball if you don't have the quarterback and the receivers? In the same sense, why are you trying to pound the ball when you don't have the girth up front to take on teams like Michigan? So that's what Bo used to would tell me as I was seeking my career starter, and I think it's one of the best pieces of information I ever used.
I like it.
Ever got. So here's Tommy Doman. Remember last year at the end of the year, Denny, how many times he put the ball in great field position for our defense? And here he's doing the same thing. We're going to need this, Tommy. We need to play for field position football. Getting back to that penalty, that offsides penalty, Denny, I don't know how many times Zeeland West or Edwardsburg or Unity Christian, these are high school teams that run the straight T, got me with kids jumping off sides, and we knew it. So that has got to be part of the game plan. So here's Doman, great punt, great coverage. I'm a little concerned with this, that he got the ball and ran it into the end zone. I would have thought that might have come out to the 20 on that, but obviously I was wrong. Okay, here we are. Stewart had a phenomenal game again. Graham had a great game. Second, fourth down conversion. Now we're 1-1 so far. Here we are going for 2. What is this? 4th and 3. Or no, 4th and 1. 4th and 1. Watch the push we get from that left side. Or that left side. We get great push there. Now, one thing I did see, I think Al Hadid put Link in a bad position because I think he whiffed on this 4-eye technique. I'm going to point it out right here. I don't mean to, because Al Hadid had a great game as well. But this guy is in a 4-eye, we call it. He's inside the tackle. Well, that's a heck of a block for that tackle, especially if we're going point of attack. We're asking our tackle to get inside a 4-eye who's crashing down. That's tough. I think Hadid missed this one, but you're going to see later on in the game where he is just dominant. I like our offensive line where we're at right now. This is just great effort by Mullins to get the first down. Big play in the game because we know what's coming next. And we talked about this too, Denny. You can have big plays on run plays just as much as you can have big plays on pass plays, right, Denny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry, can I ask you a question about Link?
Absolutely.
So he has done a good job, and this was his best game in run blocking, but he doesn't grade out well in pass blocking, and you can see that just by watching the game. He struggles now. So he's better at run blocking than pass blocking. Is it easier to become, if you're good at the run, be a pass blocker, or if you were a good pass blocker, would it be easy to be a run blocker? And is it something where you could see him moving inside to be a guard? And could you see one of those guards potentially kicking out and being a right tackle if he doesn't improve in pass protection? Those are like 3 or 4 questions all in one. You want me to separate them, or did you get the gist of all that?
I think I got a little bit of it. Denny, it's really difficult to put it both together. When you see big guys, they're hard to get around. That's why they're pass blockers. But they don't move real well. Run blockers tend to be a little bit more athletic looking up on the line, and they tend to be a little bit more athletic and can block on the ground a little bit more. It's for me as an offensive lineman, I want to run block. The reason why, first of all, it's much more difficult to pass block, in my opinion, than it is the run block. Much more difficult to pass block than it is the run block. Most of the time, you're one-on-one, and everybody can see what you're doing. But again, this goes back to, are we playing with our strength? If Link is not that good at pass blocking, but he's a phenomenal run blocker, he's getting much better, okay? And we got Alex Orji, that should answer your question. Who are we? That's the first question you're going to ask yourself in the camp. Who are we? And I think we've answered that question over and over again. We're a run team. We just got to expand the run game. So here we are, inside zone. I will bet you, Denny, we ran this play 30, 35, 40 times Saturday. And here was what I'm talking about. Just getting out of the gap a little bit. Just getting out of the position a little bit. Watch as Gaidis works up to the linebacker. Watch this linebacker fall in thinking he has to scrape and then gets caught up in the wash. We get good push from Link and Al-Hadid over here. This linebacker, what does he have to do? He's got to scrape outside. Why? Because Alex Orji is a threat outside. So when Alex Orji opens this way, he's got to scrape this way. And what happens? Takes him out of the play. Good play design. Great play design. There's 83 making a knockout block there, the kick-out block. Preeb gets the point of attack block right there. Turns his guy out. Hinton driving his guy out. Guidance up on the linebacker. And there is Al-Hadid making the block of the game, block of the play right there. We're going to see it from behind. How he gets inside his guy and really opens the wall. Watch this as he does this. This is outstanding by Al-Hadid. Look at that. Great fans. Look at this. Watch Al-Hadid right here. Look at him working. Look at that work. Do you see that, Denny?
Yeah.
That's outstanding right there. He is not going to let that guy beat him inside, even though he's lined up inside. Yeah, the circles are on Gaidis. The circles are on Preeb. But the big block really comes from Al-Hadid, who takes his guy, gets inside of 2-eye, and the linebacker is sitting right behind it and gets caught up in the wash. You see it? You see how that opened up?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And
Great
you can see what
downfield block. Here's the touchdown block. Moore, number 8. Great block. Great block. Yeah, I want to reward our receivers. I don't want to throw them the ball. I want them to get them the ball, jet motions and that kind of stuff. Get them the ball in space. They'll do just fine. All right, now we go back here. Remember, we talked about this last week, Denny. First of all, I can't believe we threw the ball 6 times. Wow. Out of 24 plays, we threw the ball 6 times. That's more times than we threw the ball when I was playing, Denny.
Sorry.
Okay? We played Iowa one time. I think we ran the ball 22 times out of 24 plays. Anyways, and they were good. Here we are. We're going to pound the rock, get these guys coming up, and then get cute from here. And this is a kind of way to get your receivers the ball who deserve the ball for all their blocking downfield. They came to Michigan to get the ball. Give them the ball, but don't try to force it down them with passes. Give them the ball like this. This is a great play design to get the receivers the ball and keep drives moving. Great play design right there. Not sexy, but oh so effective. Just basic. I think this is inside zone. I think this is just inside zone here. It's a little G kick out. It's just a little G kick out. Now, one thing I want to point out. Oh, it's a backside guard. It's kind of like a counter. This is a counter. My bad. This is a counter. Now, we're going to hit this play for a touchdown real soon. Preba's inside here at this point, but he actually loses him inside. The defender comes inside of him. I think if Bredesen captures his outside and Preeb keeps inside out technique, this play could hit for a touchdown as well. Look at the hole. Now, you see that, Denny? I want to go right back to that. You see how he lost him inside? You see how Preeb lost him inside there, right there, Denny?
Yeah.
Okay. You see where Bredesen is? He's not taking the outside. He's taking the inside. Look at the hole that's created right here. That's a bigger hole than we just saw for a touchdown. Okay? If Preeb gets inside and Bredesen gets outside, that means we've got 2 blue jerseys in the gap. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. This kid is on an island. He's not going to make a play on Mullins. Sorry. What Mullins does here, though, is he just takes the shortest path to north and south, right straight down, right down the line. And runs hard. And then I love that push, that extra 2 and 3 yard push. Okay, here we go. Denny, you can put 9 guys in the box. You can put 11 guys in the box. Once you do, if it's cracked, it's gone. And that's what we saw Saturday. And I've seen it for all my years watching and coaching and playing football. Hey, I got no problem seeing 11 in the box. As long as we get a hat on a hat, we crack one, they're gone. Edwards. I think this is Edwards, right?
Yes.
Okay. Great patience. Great patience. Who is this? Hoffman, number 42, tight end right here?
Yeah.
This is a great effort. Watch him. He actually gets too far inside. Then he comes back, peels off, and basically gets the touchdown block. Watch Gentry and Hinton work this double team back to the backside linebacker. This is how you draw it up. Klein down on the safety for the touchdown block. Watch the blocks up here by our receivers. Love it. And this is just effort right here. Watch him with his effort. You got all that blocked up in here. This linebacker, he sees Edwards coming right here. He's got to step up, just like he did last week. And then what does Edwards do? Patiently bounces it out, and there's the touchdown. Hoffman, great block. Klein, I want to see you keep your hands in a little bit more. Great patience, great vision by Donovan. Great, well-blocked play. I love what we're doing up front. Our offensive line really did a nice job up front all day long. Okay, this is the one that pissed. This one that got me mad, Denny. Here we are. What, 3rd and 11? Is this the one? Yep. Man on man. We're man on. 3rd and 11. We get the ball back with a 14-0 lead. We don't want them to have the ball. We don't want them to have any more plays than they have. We got 5 up, man on, 17, 18 yards off the ball. What hurts us? The crossing pattern. Watch that right there. Do you see that, Denny? Once somebody is blitzing a lot, these kind of patterns are in their offensive playbook all day long, i.e., Indiana, i.e., Ohio. Okay? This is all that is. That's a pick. That's a rub route. What does it do? Puts our defender behind them. Now they pick up what? 40 yards? I don't understand that one. I think Wink had a great game plan. I think he did a great job Saturday. But in that situation, I don't understand it. I don't understand why we would do that.
Well, Wink might say if Page sacks him, it's a good call.
Oh, great call. If balls tried the queen.
Okay.
Anyways, here we go. Quarterback design, pin and pull. I like it. We are great at this. Here's Bredesen coming down. We get Link out in front. Shows great athleticism, picking up the outside corner. We got, I think this is Moore. He's going to work into this 4th player over here. And what I wanted to point out here, Denny, is we got numbers over here. We got 1, guard, tackle 2, Bredesen 3, Moore 4. And then we got half players with the quarterback and center. So that gives us 5. What do they got over here? 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. We got them outnumbered. Great play called. I hope it was I'm hoping this was a audible, because if it is, we got one smart quarterback. But great call, great play call. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Give our kid an opportunity to be successful. Let's utilize his talents. Okay, here we are. Experience and athleticism. This is the play I'm talking about, Denny. It's 3rd and 3. He's seeing these guys stop short and just over the flag or the first down marker. We call those stick routes kind of thing. Go to the sticks or go beyond the sticks and come back a half. Johnson has seen this way too many times in his career, and he saw it, and he just, and he's got help over top. I saw that. But that's just Johnson being very experienced. He's seen it all along. Plays that play absolutely fantastic. And they're a little bit confused because Johnson came off of it because we had one over top. You see him? We had that covered. So Johnson played it. Beautiful play. Great job. I don't know how you get that wide open. And this is what I'm talking about. Why don't we have a gap read? What if we put Donovan over here on this side and ran a gap read where everybody's blocking down? We're going to pull our backside guard to the front side linebacker. We're going to read the 5 technique, and we're going to get out in front of all these guys out here with blockers. Why don't we have some kind of zone read like that? Some gap read like that. And that, what do? We roll him out. I think there's more we can do with him than that right there. I don't think teams are going to get fooled by that much more. So we need to expand his run game and utilize his talents more and more. And I wanted to point this play out. Don't tell me we don't have linebackers. Watch Barnum take this offensive lineman and just drive him right back into the offense. Boom. Did you see that, Denny? Watch his head snap back. You see it?
Yeah.
Watch his head snap back. Woo! That's a 300-pound offensive lineman. He's just tattooing right there. And then Houseman comes out of nowhere and makes the play. I think Houseman could have been a little bit tighter, but that's probably where they wanted him aligned. And we make the play. 3rd and 9, we get it. Okay. Why not jet sweep the other way with Edwards? Okay. We're trying to throw the ball out here. What if we went this way with a jet sweep with Edwards leading the way? We read this 5 technique and block down, pull the backside guard for this front side linebacker. We can either block here with the wide receiver or we can crack on the safety, which we did to Ohio and a bunch of other teams that cost them because we caught them in man coverage. Remember? The cornerback would go with them, and there'd be Edwards going out the back end. So I would like to see – this is not who we are. To me, I'm sorry, this is not who we are. Who we are is running jets, powers, insides, and gap reads. I think if we put a package like that together, we'd have a very, very dynamic offense and a very dynamic quarterback. One that, who said it earlier? He reminds him of the kid down at Alabama. I said I think he reminds me of the kid from Ohio State, Trey Smith, a number of years ago. Even has the same number. All right, we got to secure the ball. This is good movement, good blocking. Should have been 2nd and 4. But here we go. We see they're well coached. Look at 18. I mean, that's a punch. That is, if that's going somewhere else, that's a punch. So, but they're taught that, and that's just great coaching. That's great coaching by them. Pop. We saw it done by number 13. Now we see it done by number 18. Well-coached team. We beat a very, very good football team Saturday, folks. Don't kid yourself. We beat them throwing the ball for 30 yards. That should tell you something about who we are. Okay? And I tell you right now, there aren't a lot of teams that want to line up to that. Watch this punch. Right on the ball. I mean, that's hard to do. When action's coming at you that fast, that's hard to put your fist right on the ball like that. That's outstanding by them. We beat a heck of a football team, folks. Okay, this one right here, in my opinion, this should never happen. The corner should never allow the receiver to get an outside release, because now what happens is it's way too far to ask our safety to get over and cover it. I remember one time we did that where our kid let an outside release, and we said that will never happen again because it's too far for the safety to come over. I think we're in some kind of zone here. Well, I know we are in some kind of zone. It's not palms, but he gets that outside release, and it's just way too far for Page to get over there. I would have liked to see more of an effort from Page, but that's too much to ask of him. Okay, I'll bet inside zone was run 35 to 40 times this last week, and we ran it 3 times to perfection. Just a great effort. Great effort. Love the fact that he's trying to change the ball so he doesn't lose it inside. And we lose Klein on that hamstring. He's out. He's probably out for a couple weeks. This end zone camera really shows it. Watch the movement we get here with Link and Klein. And then Klein comes up and picks up the linebacker who's got to scrape because they got to be cautious of Orgy. Okay? And I think this is – okay, now they got 2 in a gap. They got 2 people in a gap. That's not what you want as a defense. You want 1 person per gap. You got 2 people in a gap. That means there's a gap wide open. And here it is. Mullins, you're not going to bring them down with safeties and corners. You better gang tackle this guy. He has been – right now, he's one of the best players in the Big Ten, in my opinion. He's one of the best players in the Big Ten. Inside zone. Hard block for Bredesen. All inside zone, Denny, is an old trap play. That's all it is. We want to kick everybody out. And who taught me that was Elliot Uzelak. When they started studying how to run the zone with him and Alex Gibbs, that's all they talked about was zone is basically a trap. We're trying to kick these guys out, kick them out, and run behind them. And Edwards going to find a hole. Okay? Okay, another great. We're almost popping this one. Great hand on a hat. Great block by Gaidis and El Hadid. I don't like this call one bit because Denny, if we run the ball here again, we either get in the end zone or it's 3rd and 1. If we don't complete the pass, the clock stops and they don't use a timeout. At this point, I'm thinking I want them to not have any timeouts and for us to end the game on the last play. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's not just a play. It's not the play call. You want the clock to run.
I want the clock to run. First of all, you got a quarterback that has been suspect in the pass game, right?
Right.
Where's the toughest place to throw the ball? In the red zone. Because the DBs are condensed now. They don't have to cover as much ground. This was not a good call at all, in my opinion. We had nothing to gain by that call one bit. And then hopefully I think he's okay, but we'll see. He's going to be sore every week. He's going to take a pounding. Get used to it. All right, this should be 2nd and 1 instead of 3rd and 1. Boy, right there. If we could have gotten a little bit better block here, I know Mullins would have walked in here. Look at that hole right there, Denny. But Mullins is going to get a yard. No matter what, Mullins is going to get a yard. Back to good old power. Everyone blocking down. Bredesen kicking out. We pull Al Hadid. And Mullins fights and gets in the end zone. Boom. Game. But all in all, Denny, I love the improvement I'm seeing from our offensive line. We are really starting to get after people. We're starting to dominate people up front. Finds a gap from 1.5 yards. Remember, Denny, we talked about this last year. You better have a play that you can get 1 yard every time.
Yeah.
And there it is. And that's the game.
It was a great one. It came down like that. and we'll see if they're able to build on it tomorrow. A lot of the ground game. Then we'll see if Orgy from start 1 to start 2, if he makes his most improvement. If he does, I think there'll be a lot to be excited about.
Hey, who is that? Dre 408. Go Tigers, baby. How about them Tigers, Denny?
Jerry, there was a part all the years where people would say, "Oh, this team's done," and the only thing that they could say is, "Oh, well, stranger things had happened." They would cite like the amazing Mets or whatever. Now they're going to say, just remember the 24 Tigers on August 11th. They had a 0.2% chance, 0.2, not 2%, 0.2% chance.
Hey, what do the Benners know?
Postseason. So that's what they have done is one of the most amazing come from out of nowhere. The most amazing come from out of nowhere teams, and every game now that they win validates it. Now we should say that they still have to win a game, or they got to have Minnesota lose one. So out of these next 3, but they are taking on the White Sox, so they should be able to get done. Doesn't think like anything's going to stop them now. And let's go. Great job. Good job, Jerry. You're up tomorrow, right? We'll have you on the post game.
Is it my turn tomorrow, Denny?
I think it is.
All right, baby.
So
Looking forward to it.
We will talk with you with the little brown jug secured.
The oldest trophy, the oldest college trophy in football.
There you go. Great job, Jerry. We'll talk with you tomorrow after the game.
Great seeing you, Denny. Hail to the victors.